Hey everyone, so in this video I'm just going to be going over this week's epic weapons cache, and to be honest, I really like this epic weapons cache. The first weapon we see is Zoo's Berserker Cold Steel Machete, and this weapon is very good. I know you only have, less than a 1% chance at pulling this exact weapon, but at 30% HP, 15% defense, bonus AP, so all team members, including the person holding this weapon, get plus 8% AP at the start of each wave. So at the start of any raid or onslaught or any SR stage, or at the start of war, for example, and then throughout like survival road or through road maps, every time it becomes a new wave, you will get 8% AP, which seems like a small amount, but is one of the key components to making a turn 1 attack or defense team. And finally, the fourth slot, Fast Healing, is a very effective weapon to use both on offense and defense. It's a great counter to infection, and these weapons will actually stack. So if you have multiple fast healing weapons, it means that it'll actually add up to being more than just 10% healing per turn, because one fast healing weapon is 2 teammates get 10% healing per each fast tune on your team. But if you have multiple of these weapons, it means you can get more healing every single turn. I think this type of weapon is super effective in the current meta because there's so many infection teams out there. It's a great weapon for offense and defense because people are running infection on both attack and on defense. So this is just a great weapon to use for a fast rushing team, as I mentioned. So a simple one would be using your S-Class Lily, Dr. Stevens, a yellow command tune, let's say Princess, and a Rov. You can easily make a fast rushing offensive team with 2 8% AP weapons, as well as a 20% AP weapon to self on either a Rov or on a blue tune or on both of them. You have so many options as soon as you have AP gaining weapons. The next weapon that is on the wheel is one that we've seen a number of times. Lance's Sturdy Dagger, 30% HP, a medium bonus to AP when attacking, impenetrable defense, which is a great third slot, so when being attacked, a better chance to reduce the damage to 0 and apply a 20% slow to the enemy for 2 turns. Slow makes it more difficult for the enemy to rush because it increases the amount of AP that the enemy tune needs to rush by 20%. So a 76 AP tune will now need 92 AP in order to rush. The fourth slot is decent, so at the start of a battle and each turn, get a 5% defense bonus for every debuff on the enemy team. So an example would be, let's say you have a Jackie lead and you have this weapon. Jackie applies Confuse to all enemies, so if all enemies are confused, your tune will get a 25% defense bonus. This is really valuable because there are so many different types of debuffs. We can think of Impair, Normalize, Heal Reduction, Taunt, Confuse, Infection. The list really goes on, making this weapon to be a pretty valuable weapon, especially if you don't have a defensive team that gives defensive bonuses either on rushes or on active skills. It's just an effective way of kind of stopping the attacking tune because of the combination of impenetrable defense, and even if they disarm you and turn off the absolute defense as well as slow, you'll still have this defensive bonus irregardless because you can actually disarm the fourth slot. So this is a pretty effective weapon the way it is. You could just tank it out, so you could add like 30% defense and then increase the HP to 40%. You could also change the fourth slot, of course, so you could go with like Team Player, which gives 15% attack and plus 35 crit chance. There's just a number of different crafts that you could put onto this weapon to make it effective in the current and future meta. The last weapon on this epic weapons cache is a little interesting to see, just because lately they've been doing all the 5-star weapons being of the same trait, so to see a tough weapon here is kind of irregular. But we have Angel's Savage Sawed-Off Shotgun. I think we've talked about this weapon before, but I'll talk about it again. This is a pretty effective weapon, and it kind of works with the 8% AP weapon we spoke about before. This 20% AP to self is extremely valuable and can help you have a turn 1 attack team, with plus 35 crit chance, a huge bonus to AP when attacking, as well as plus 20% attack for the first 2 turns, and the plus 20 AP at the beginning of each wave. This is a very effective weapon. You could run this type of weapon on Princess or on Priya, for example. You could add Rampage instead of the increased crit multiplier by 20%. There's a lot of different things you could do with this weapon, but the fact is it has this great third slot that is incredibly difficult to craft. The type of changes I might make to this, I might try to add Rampage onto the fourth slot and then change the 35 crit to 35% attack and kind of just roll with that type of weapon. I think it'd be effective on a turn 1 attack team, which is what I usually use when I see an offensive leader on the defensive team, or just an irregular leader like say Rolito, Priya is an offensive leader that I see on a defensive team, and other tunes where people might try to be clever but without the RNG or a huge, defense and HP buff leader. I can usually take out a lot of teams just with a turn 1 attack team. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching and listening to my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and good luck to you if you do end up pulling on this weapons cache. I know I've mentioned this before, but I usually pull on weapons cache when the weapons are good, because if by chance I get one of the weapons, I want to be happy with it instead of disappointed that I didn't get the armoury tokens instead.